Hey kids, today we're going to be practicing mean, median, and mode. Oh yes, those lovely central measures of tendency. We'll be focusing mainly on working with finding the mean for a set of data. We will also continue working with adding and dividing of decimals. Here we go. First of all, it's important to know what mean is. Take out your notebook and let's record this definition of the word mean. It's another word for average, but it's the sum of the data divided by the number of data items. So, if we were looking at this set that we have right here, we would add the numbers together and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because that's how many numbers or data items we have. Let's try it out. Go ahead and pause your screen. Try to do it on your own on a different sheet of paper, and then we will go over them. And when you add these numbers together, you should have gotten 30. Now, just divide by that number 6, the amount of data items in the set. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So the mean would be 5 for this set. Let's take a look at some others. Here we have a set of quiz scores out of 10 questions. You'll notice some of them are decimals, so we can challenge ourselves to also work on adding decimals and dividing decimals. First thing we need to do is find the sum for this data set. Then use the average or mean to see how well they did. Go ahead and do this on your own. Think back what you need to do when you're adding decimals together. And also, this would be a great opportunity to practice dividing decimals. Pause the screen, try the problem out, and then let's check over your work. Did you remember to line up those decimals? Remember too, if there's a whole number, we need to add a decimal point and go ahead and annex those zeros in. It does not change the value. It simply gives us the place value of tenths and hundredths. So I'm going to annex the zeros in these numbers. Now we're ready to add. And then we just need to bring the decimal straight down. All right, now we're ready to divide. And it appears that we have a total of 6 numbers in this data set. So let's divide 48 and 8 hundredths divided by 6. 6 goes into 4 0 times. So now I'm looking at 48. It goes into that 8 times. 6 times 4, or 6 times 8 is 48. And we bring the 0 down. 6 goes into 0 0 times. And again, we would bring the 8 down. 6 goes into 8 once. What do I do now? Nope, I don't need a remainder. I need to, yes, add a 0 and bring it down. 6 goes into 20 3 times. It appears that I've already got some type of pattern going on, but I don't need to go any farther since none of my data set went past the hundredths place. At this time, I need to put my decimal in the quotient. Where does it go? That's right. Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be? Straight up. Excellent. And if we round to the hundredths place, we look back, and 4 and below, keep it down low. So our answer would be 8.5. 0.01. If that was the average score out of 10 questions, that would be an 80.1%. Let's move on to some other practice problems. Take out your sheet of paper and your pencil, and let's write down these 2 easy steps for finding the mean. Step 1, find the sum of all the numbers in the set of data. And step 2, divide the sum by the number of data items, or add-ins. Pause the screen, and then we'll take a look at another example. All right, ready to move on to this next one. Here's my pumpkin patch. And in the pumpkin patch, we want to know what the average weight is for each pumpkin. We're going to do it just like the last one, using these 2 steps. Go ahead and try to solve this problem on your own. Pause the screen, and then we'll check over your work. Okay, what did you get for your sum? It should have been 29 2/10. Now we need to divide by the number of add-ins. So let's divide by 7, since we have 7 pumpkins showing here. 29.2, when you're dividing by 7, gives you an answer that has a decimal value that keeps going on. So we're going to actually round that. I'm just going to write down the first few decimal places up to thousandths place. Now we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So let's round to the nearest tenth on this one. Since all of our other answers go to tenths, we'll round this one to the nearest tenth. I underline the place value, the tenths place, and we look back at the hundredths place to decide what to do. What do I need to do? That's right, 5 and above, give it a shove. So we're going to shove the 1/10 up to 2/10. The average weight of our pumpkins are 4.2 kilograms. Now, you may have noticed this little guy right down here. Anytime you have a very, very small pumpkin or a very small number or even a large number in a set, sometimes it can really throw off the mean or the average. We call these outliers. An outlier is a data item that is much greater or less than the other data items. Let's move on to the next page. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and try these 2 problems, and then we'll check over your answers. Pause the screen, work out one or both of the problems, and then I'll give you the answers to see if you're right. Go ahead and pause the screen. So did you figure out how much the farmer will make per bushel on corn this year? Yeah, it's really low this year. $3.49 per bushel. Is that what you got? Great work. Now look at number 2. Did you figure out how many bushel of corn they're producing per acre? 194 bushel per acre. That's a really good year. I hope the crops keep coming like that in the future, but hopefully the prices will go up. Well, I hope this helped you out with finding the mean for a set of data. See ya!